Africa.
Mahape ku TNM Edzani 1.4 GB mpindi 200 kumansoma SMS 200 pa miezi 6 mukagula sim card yanu ya TNM onjezela mayunisi osajepera 200 mwezi uliwonse kuti mulandire mabonasiwa kumanso mukagulisa mchito 1000 waja pampamba mwezi uliwonse muzilandira mpindi 200 zina zonjezera. Gulani sim card yanu ya TNM kwa agenti kapena shop ya TNM yomwe muli nayo pafupi. Mabonasi kuti mbwe.
TNM, always with you.
You are watching Angaliba television and it's time for our news bulletin brought to you by TNM. And today you're with me, Katie Maganga. Before we get into the details of today's news, let's look at the headlines. Seven people have been found with coronavirus in Sanje district. Registrator of Zomba, Malosa Grace Kwelepeta has distributed sweet potato vines to over 3,000 farmers in her area. Those were the headlines, and now news. 7 people have been found with coronavirus in Sanje district. The district health officer of Sanje confirmed to local media for the resurrecting of the disease on the 16th January 2024. According to Mr. George Mbotwa, the 7 people have been found positive last week after clinical observation when they showed signs and symptoms of coronavirus. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health have urged the general public not to panic following the reappearing of COVID in the country. We have more in this report led by Tadala William.
On 2nd April 2020, Malawi confirmed COVID-19 cases in the country. Many people forget about the COVID-19 disease as it was a story of the past. On 16 January 2024, Sanje District Office confirmed that 6 cases were registered at Kalembe Community Hospital, with 1 at Sanje District Hospital, making 7 positive cases. In a statement, the Health Minister Kumbize Kandodo Chiponda has urged the general public not to panic as no admission of death has been registered. However, the Ministry of Health has asked people to follow COVID preventive measures and take registered cases as an indication that COVID-19 still exists in the country. Meanwhile, Malawi Health Equity Network Executive Director George Jobe has urged people to get vaccinated for the disease. Reporting for Angaliba, this is Tadala William.
Legislator for Zomba Malosa, Grace Kwelepeta, has distributed sweet potato vines to over 3,000 farmers in her area. Speaking with Angaliba News, Kwelepeta said that this project will help farmers to produce more food, as food is part of the development. For this project, cost 5 million Malawi kwacha from Constituency Development Fund (CDF). Mrs. Kwelepeta explains.
This year we were told that there is El Nino meaning that we might experience high rainfalls or low rainfalls. In my constituency, already in December we experienced a drought that destroyed people's crops. So when I contacted the district agriculture office about the calamity that I have, because I also have some weevils in the maize, I was told that our government had put plans that people should avoid maize but use drought-resistant seeds. So in my case, we went for sweet potato vines, which were purchased from Google Research Station and Tondo Research Station, and it has been distributed to about over 3,000 farmers. This is a person project whereby whenever they are being given, they are given 5 heaps of vines, and they are being taught on seed multiplication, so that they can even use some for resale and again some for pass on. Each farmer is supposed to pass on to at least 3 farmers or 4 farmers before the rains stop.
Ijenko has said Malawi should expect much improvement in electricity supply following the resumption of power generation at Nkula Power Station. The Public Relations Officer, Mr. Moses Gwaza, disclosed that Nkula A and B station, which has a combined generation capacity of 135.1 megahertz, were shut down on 13th January to allow maintenance works at Nkula B, including discluding of intake screenings. We have more in this report by Tadala William.
The electricity generation company of Malawi, Ejenco, manages and operates several power plants in the country, including hydroelectric and solar power plants. Since the start of 2024, Malawi has been having blackouts on some days. Ejenco notified its customers and Malawians on maintaining the Nkula Power Station. On 16 January 2024, Moses Gwaza, the Senior Public Relations Officer for Ejenco, discussed that the company has managed to complete the works ahead of time, and all-time machines resumed operation on the 14th January 2024, bringing generation capacity to 442 megawatts. It has assured Malawians of a steady power supply during this rainy season. It has taken necessary steps to safeguard the power generation machines for possible weather damages. Reporting for Angaliba, this is Tadala William.
Criminals broke into the office of the principal secretary, which is in the same wing as the vice president's office. Spokesperson for the vice president, Pililani Piri, has told local media that the matter was reported to police when the incident was discovered on 15 January 2024, but the breaking in occurred between 12 January 2024. We have more in this report read by
Spokesperson for Ringazi police station, Sibongile Ziambo, said the criminals broke into the office of a principal secretary, which is in the same wing as the vice president's office. They broke in through the window of the bathroom and stole toner and biscuits. In 2021, thugs also attempted to break into the office of the vice president and the principal secretary. Ziambo said police at the time arrested some guards at Capitol Hill who were suspected of being involved in several breaks-in. She said the guards were convicted and currently serving sentences at Maura prison. Chirima has been vice president of Malawi since 2014 when he was first elected together with former president Peter Mutharika in 2022. Chirima was arrested for recently receiving bribes from a UK-based Malawian business person. For Angaliba News, this is Priscilla Mpawa.
A retired civil servant has alleged that 3 men had swindled her money that she earned after working for the government for 31 years. In a video which is circulating on social media, the woman identified as Loda Zulu explains how the alleged scammers tricked her into giving them 26 million Malawi kwacha. We have more in this report, read by Apata Maulidi.
Ndinayesesa kupita ku polisi isi zinaende anayesera kupanga freeze account ya commercial don't commercial this.
According to Zulu, after getting her pension money, she bought a tanker in the house. However, the tanker had mechanic issues and she decided to buy another tanker. She consulted a man identified as Gift from Deza, who took her to Area 49 to meet a man called Nkwende. Nkwende contacted his friend who lives in United Kingdom, Mr. Shanjano. Kazua advised the woman to pay the deposit for the tanker. She further said that she didn't know that the account belonged to Nkwende. Later, the woman was told that she needed to deposit money by Nkwende and she managed to raise 5 million kwacha, which she sent the account. After some time, they told Zulu to add more money, saying the tanker which they wanted to sell had been sold to another person. They didn't want her to know that they bought the tanker at 1,000 British pounds. After a buyer made an offer to buy the tanker, the documents were realized, but only after 14 million kwacha was sent to Chanjano's account. That was when she realized the little price of the tanker. According to Zulu, she sent a total 26 million kwacha to the scammers and has since asking for assistance to recover her money. Zulu says that she currently sick, as it now she worked for Nkwende, Shanjano and Gifty. From Angaliba, this is Apatoladi.
Tukala ni kwa fusana ntuzokuti ya ndama ya 15 million ya chepa. Shuka chintu chimeana gula kwa nzungu. Chatani chakulichidwa.
In international news, Qatar mediators says that Israel and Hamas has struck a deal to allow more humanitarians aid into war-ravaged Gaza. Following the deal blocked by Qatar and France, medicine will be given to hostages held by Hamas, and in return, the country of Israel will allow the passing of more supplies into Gaza. White House National Secretary spokesperson on 16th January said the United States of America feels hopeful that the further discussions could lead to the release of more hostages, and the U.S. Middle East has been in Qatar to discuss possibilities of such arrangements. Our reporter Kelvin Nazombe has more in this report.
Mgwirizano wopereka chithandizo unalengezedwa ndi nduna ya mzinda wa Qatar Mahed Al Ansari. Mgwirizano uzesa chithandizo kuchokera ku mgwirizano wopereka chithandizo unalengezedwa ndi nduna ya mzinda wa Qatar Mahed Al Ansari. Mgwirizanowu uzesa chithandizo kuchokera ku kapitolo ya dziko la Qatar Doha kupita ku dziko la Egypt lachitatuli. Chithandizochi chifikiranso mzinda wa Gaza ndi kuzathera anthu omwe anagwidwa ndi dziko la Israel mkatikati mwa nkhondo yomwe inachitika kumwera kwa dziko la Israel mwezi wa Oktoba. Dziko la Hamas inagwira anthu okwana 140 pomwe anthu 1300 anaphedwa. Mukalata yomwe inatumizidwa kwa akuluakulu oyang'anira nkhondo mu dziko la Israel, mabanja a anthu omwe.
The agreement on aid was announced earlier by Qatar's Foreign Ministry spokesman Mahad Al Ansari. The deal will allow the humanitarian supplies to leave the Qatari capital, Doha, for Egypt on Wednesday. The aid will then be taken to Gaza to be delivered to civilians, while medicines are bound for Israeli captives. During a series of raids in southern Israel on October 7th, Hamas captured about 240 people, while some 1,300 people, mainly civilians, were killed. In a letter sent to Israel's war cabinet after a ceasefire ended last year, the hostages' families' HQ group said many abductees were in need of regular medical attention, as some were in immediate danger. Last week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said David Barnier, head of Israel's national intelligence agency Mossad, approached Qatar to secure a deal for providing the medicines needed. According to Hamas-run health ministry, the Hamas attacks in October gaslighted Israel's intense bombings in Gaza, which has killed more than 24,000 people so far, most of them women and children. Palestinian officials say that 85% of Gaza's population has been displaced, and as Israel is coming under increasing international pressure to consider a ceasefire, its closest ally, the United States, is raising flags against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that civilian death toll is far too high. Reporting for Angaliba, this is Kelvin Nazombe.
With that item, we have come to our news. We have come to the end of our news. Before we leave, a reminder of our top stories. Seven people have been found with coronavirus in Sanje district. Registrator for Zomba Malosa Grace Kwelipeta has distributed sweet potato vines to over 3,000 farmers in her area. That's the news for today. But for more on this and other stories, visit our social media platforms on Facebook, Angaliba Online, YouTube channel, Angaliba Television, Instagram, Angaliba TV, Twitter, Angaliba Television. For more coverage on stories or any other events, you can contact us on 0888-939-903. You have been with me, Katie Maganga, keeping missing change.
muli mahape ku TNM. Ma agent at TNM adzilandira mayunits okwana 200 kwacha polumikiza makadi 10. 100 kwacha idziperekedwa mukalembetsa masimu kadi asanu ndipo 100 kwacha inayo idziperekedwa mukalumikizanso masimu kadi ena asanu. Agent akhozanso kugulitsa phindu lawo lomwe adzilandiralo. Lumikizani masimu kadi ambiri kuti mupate phindu lochuluka kuti mgwe.
TNM, always with you.